Hi, I'm Don, and this is the Hobbyist Geek. Welcome back, y'all. Today we're going to be doing pack 14 of our Fanhome Ironman build, and I am really excited. And when you see what parts we get, you'll understand why. However, I do have some bad news. While prepping for this piece, I discovered this. This is the right arm, and it has no tension at all on the upper joint in the wrist. Now the lower joint has a little bit of tension, but not enough to really hold it in place. So basically, this arm is going to be kind of useless unless it's in a perfectly outstretched mode. And what's more is I have taken this arm apart and I've attempted to tighten the joints. It's impossible to do because this elbow is made of plastic. And the plastic in this very short period has worn to the point where the screws are loose in there. I've even filled the holes with super glue to let it cure, and then pre-drilled a little bit of a little hole and put a screw in that way, and it is just insufficient. There's no tension here. Now the left arm is still good for now, but that really stinks. I think it's still a beautiful piece. We can still continue with the build, but that kind of sucks. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that. If you guys have any ideas, let me know in the comments. But for now, let's get back into this build. Hi there. Before we get into today's build, this is your reminder to like, share, and subscribe. And if you feel the content is worth it, you can join our membership right here on YouTube, where you'll have access to all of my videos as soon as they are uploaded, typically months in advance. And now, back to the build. All right, here we are with the parts for issue 69. This is not the spectacular one. Just wait. Trust me. Good things are coming. But for now, what we have is the left hip plate, left support base, and left swinging support. And this is all going to assemble exactly the same way as the right hip plate did. So you can go check the previous pack for detailed instructions. For now, I'm just going to go ahead and get this together so we can move on. And there we go. We have our hinge ready to rock and roll and working wonderfully. All right. Let's move on to issue 70. And here are the parts we get with issue 70. We have the base, or at least half of the base. Now this is what they call the support base. The instructions claim this will be necessary to hold the piece upright for later stages. We will see. But for now, we're going to set this to the side. We're going to be building this out over the next few issues. We also have the rear center armor. So yes, we're finally starting to work on the torso. We have a button and 2 springs along with a few screws. All right, first thing we're going to do is take this rear center armor, and then we've got our button here. Now if you take a real close look, there are 2 posts, one here and one here. One's much longer than the other. And we're going to take a spring and put it on each of those posts. Just like so. And then we're going to slide it into that cavity right there. Bingo. At this point, we're going to bring this puppy back out. And, excuse me, note that little slot right there. That slot is going to go on top of this tab right there. What's more is you've got this little hook right here, and that's going to go around that assembly right there. So it should just slide right in just like that. Now, with it pushed all the way in, you should notice that the screw hole here lines up, and we're going to throw a QP screw right through there. Just like that. Now, yeah, all right. And when you push the button here, it should make this little hook here disengage. So we have us something cool. Nice little way to keep this thing, I guess, in a state of disassembly. Let's see what's next. Next up, we're going to bring out the two hip pieces here. You'll notice there are two big posts on either side. Those posts are going to go into here, these outer holes. Very important. This one has L, this one has R, so you got your left and right correctly oriented. Yep, so it should go like that. And now we're going to take this assembly, and it's got matching holes here, and this big tab right there that'll go into that slot there. And everything else should line up. All right, with all of this together, coming around on the back, we've got two holes here for LP screws. So let's go ahead and get those in. All right, there we go. And with all of that in place, we've got one last screw hole right here for an OP screw. All right. And there it is. Now, at this point, these should come up on both sides. And you have these flaps here that also come up and maneuver. So we got all kinds of motion going on here. That is sadly the end of 70. So let's get on to issue 71. All right, here is what we get with issue 71. We have another section of base. Now I'm going to set this to the side, but I'm pretty sure we are actually going to need this time around. We also have 4 of these connectors for the base. That's what they're called. And we have 2 base clips. In addition to that, we have lower hip armor. We have a cover for central leg support 1 and 2. Note the orientation 1 and 2. We have 2 ball joints and a mess of screws. All right, the first thing we're going to do is take this bearing ring. This is for the left hip joint, and you can tell there's a little F. I don't know if it's showing up on camera, but there's a little L right there. We're going to take that, and one of our ball joints here, we're going to push the ball joint through the smooth section so that the hollow section here is facing out. No, it's actually easier if we do it that way. So let's put it in this direction. Boom, look at that. All right, now we're going to take this base here, and we're going to take the central leg support 1, okay? And it will go in right into that cavity, just like that. And from this side, we're going to throw in 2 LP screws to hold it in place. All right, there we are. 2 for 2. All right, we're going to set all of that stuff to the side, and we're going to bring out our base plates here. First thing we're going to want to do is flip them over. And when you put them together, you may notice there are these clips over here. Well, that is where these clips are going to go in. So we're just going to slide them over to hold the 2 pieces together. We're going to do that on either side. All right, got those clips in to help hold things together. And you may notice these little posts here, 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 and here. Well, we're going to cover those posts with these supports just like that. We're going to put in 2 LP screws into each support. So let's go ahead and get all of those in too. All right, there we go. All the supports are in place, clips are in place, and look at that. We have us a beautiful base. And that is the end of issue 71. Let's see what 72 has for us. All right, here are the parts we get with issue 72. We have the chest structure, and this is a nice solid metal piece. This is gorgeous. We have the arc reactor holder, the reactor mast. We have the base plate for the reactor mast. We have a couple of pins that I haven't taken out of the bag yet. I'm not sure if those are metal or plastic. A couple of what they call adjustment stickers. We'll find out, I guess. And then we have support mast 1, which has all the holes in it, and support mast 2. I'm guessing these are for the base, along with some screws. All right, to kick things off for this issue, we're going to take this chest piece and flip it over, and take note of this screw hole here and this one down here. We're going to take the arc reactor holder here. We're going to place it like this so that this hole is towards the lower end. We're basically going to put it in here and cover those 2 screw holes with these screw holes here, and we're going to use EM screws to hold it in place. All right, there you go, just like that. Very nice. Then we're going to take the reactor mast here, and you'll notice that the big flat end doesn't quite fit in there. What you're going to want to do is take the end that's got this little post, we'll push it in through the front, just like that. And what we're going to want to do is take our holder here and put it in like this. Now, if you take a look, there's a flat end and then one that's got a beveled surface. The beveled surface will be facing upwards. So that will go just like so. And that is not accurate, actually. I think what we're going to want to do is push this through first. Let's see. That's better. Okay. So basically what's going to happen when we do it, this is a little early, but that little power button there on the arc reactor, that will go into that hole just like so. Let's see if this works. We'll take this Look at that. We can turn the arc reactor on and off with this post. Okay, I see what they're going for here. So we put the mast through the support, make sure the bevel on the support is facing the small end here. We'll place this whole thing on here, and we're going to use IP screws on either side to hold it all in place. There we go. Wish the instructions had been a little clearer, but hey, we got it done, right? Very cool. Let me see here. Is there... Okay. Yeah, there's a way to help make sure that it goes in right. And it works great. Beautiful. All right, let's see what's next. All right, next up, we're going to take these two mast pieces, and you'll notice there are two little holes right here, and we've got two little holes right there. Basically, we're going to push this in, line those holes up, and then we're going to put two of these pins into those holes. They should go all the way down and be flush. Got them in. Had to hammer them though, man. They did not go in smooth. All right, next up, this little section that there's a little lip right here. This lower section, we're going to put one of these stickers on. We should only need one sticker. We're basically just going to wrap it all around. And there it is, all nice and neat. And that is the end of issue 72. All right, let's see what 73 has in store. And here are the parts we get with issue 73. We have the breastplate. We have breastplate elements 1 and 2. They are marked L and R, so should be easy enough to tell which goes which. Some neck armor. We have 2 support brackets. We have this beautiful spring and some adhesive strips. It feels like some sort of felt, honestly, and a whole bunch of screws. All right, we're going to kick things off with the breastplate here. We're going to take the element with an L printed on the inside, and that's going to go right here, just like that. And on the back side, right there, we're going to use an IP screw. Beautiful. Now we're going to do exactly the same thing with the other element. All right, look at that. All right, next up, we're going to take this neck armor here. Notice those 2 big holes? That's for those 2 posts right there. So we're just going to slide it on like that, and 2 more IP screws to hold it in place. All right, look at this. Sweet. All right, next up, we're going to bring this puppy back out. And I want you to take note of the 2 holes here and here, and the 2 holes here and here. Okay? Because what we're going to do is we're going to line those things up. We're going to place this in, make sure all that's all nice and lined up here. And what we're going to do is put in 2 more IP screws to hold all of this in place. All right, there we go. Look at that. Let's see what's next. All right, now we're going to bring out these supports here. And from this orientation, you notice there's that giant lip. That'll help you with your spacing, because you're going to need to take one of these adhesive strips. And we're basically going to pull this thing off. And we're going to start right in there. and just guide it all along. Now, if you want, you can start at the outer edge, but the instructions show it starting on this inner edge here. All right, so there is a little space here at the front where it's not covered, but it is covered all the way to the back, and that is very clearly protection for your piece. And now we're going to do the same thing on this side with another of these strips. All right, there we go. Same problem, actually, on both sides, but there is an extra strip in case you just want to cut it and cover that up. I'm going to leave it as is and see what comes next. All right, next up, we're going to take our spring. Note the little offshoots on the spring. This lower one is going to go into that cavity right there. So let's get that in just like that. Now we're going to cover it and make sure that this upper offshoot goes into this cavity here. There we go, just like that. And right here in top, we're going to put a GM screw. All right, there you go, and look at that. You can now open it and it will close automatically, but not too tight. Very, very cool. Now with that done, what we're going to do is bring out our post here. We're going to take these two pegs and we're going to put them into these holes. Now, it's up to you where you want to put them, I guess, but in the instructions, it is showing in holes 3 and 4. So just like that. Okay, and then you will come in from the other side. I'm not sure if I'm getting this right, but once you get those in, you'll come in from the other side with KM screws to hold it in place. So let's make that happen. All right, there it is, attached to our post and working great. Now we're going to take this end and we're going to put it into that hole in the base. This is going to be a little tall for my camera setup here, so I will get this in and then bring the camera back to give you a bird's eye view. All right, there's your bird's eye view. Wow, that thing is tall. But this final piece will be as well, so better get used to it. All right, that is the end of issue 73. Let's see what 74 has for us. Alrighty, y'all. Here is the only piece we get in issue 74, which is the breastplate mechanism. That's what they call it. In the back, there are 4 screw posts. We're going to bring this puppy out, and there are 4 holes here, 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 and here that these will slide into. And then we're going to follow it up from behind with 4 IP screws. So let's go ahead and get all of that in place and make that happen. All right, there we go. Look at that. Just because I think it's cool, let's slide that arc reactor in. Look at that. Spectacular. And that, my friends, is the end of pack 14. We've gotten so much accomplished from this beautiful, very tall base. We've begun the torso and chest, and the crotch area as well. So things are absolutely coming along, and just look at all these spare parts, spare I say, that we have yet to fully put together. I can't wait. That's got to be coming soon. Anyway, if you liked the video, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Have a great day.